Hey YouTube, CryptoScore11 here. I'm going to be showing you guys my Machina Gadget deck for the current ban list. This is what I'm going to be playing the rest of the format. I decided to go back to this deck strictly because I've tried a million different other things, and this is just the deck I feel most comfortable with, and it's always my fallback for when I don't have any idea what to play. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. I play 3 Fortress, pretty basic. I know some people, when this deck was played a lot more, were playing 2 Fortress. I was playing 2 for a while. 3 is just kind of essential. You draw into it, it's an easier drop because I only play 3 non-machine monsters, so always summonable. If you've got him in the graveyard or in your hand, you can discard him plus another monster. If he's in your hand, to special summon him, and if he's in the graveyard, you just discard 8 stars worth of machines to get him out, special summon him. When he's targeted by an opponent's card effect, opponent's monster's card effect, you get to look at their card, discard a card, and when he's destroyed by battle, you get to destroy any card on their field. So all around really good boss monster. Next is Machina Gear Frame. He's essentially a Stratos for Machina. Get you your Fortress and get you your 1 copy of Force. One of the best things about it is you can equip him to any Machina, basically just Fortress. And when Fortress would die, this dies instead. So if they Dark Hole you, your monster stays, Black Rose, any of that stuff. Makes them really, really hard to get over. Next, you play 1 copy of Machina Force, just because there's absolutely no way to summon this guy, but when you have a Fortress in your graveyard, you discard it, and you get a free Fortress. Nothing really bad about that. Next, it's 2 of each Gadget. You should all know why you don't play 3. You only really play 3 if you're playing the Ultimate Offering Gadget thing. The 5th Gadget, if that's what you want to call it, whatever. Just 2 is the most consistent way to do it. Summon and search. That's basically what they're about. Next, I play a double card trooper strictly because Thunder King is a huge issue. Like, the worst thing to happen to this deck is somebody said it was Thunder King. This is my 1 card out. Stops all your gadgets, stops Gear Frame, stops all your dualities, and will stop your Pot of Avarice, all that stuff. So, yeah, basically you're 1 card out to Thunder King. 2 effect Veilers, really good against a decent part of the meta, but when you run into stuff like Dark World and things like that, you're clearly going to side them out. Unless you're trying to keep it in for Tour Guide and Raven. I mean, it's not a bad thing to keep it in. It's just, you can definitely side these out for other things like Crows. And then my last monster is Gores. It's a OTK stopper. And another out to Thunder King if you need it to be. Just, it's Gores. Doesn't really need a whole lot of explanation. Next, 3 dualities. Even though you don't really special that much outside of Fortress. So, Pot of Duality, always good. Adds to the consistency. Double Space. Not a huge fan of 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. Seems like it's dead a whole lot against certain matchups. Like if you're playing against plants, 3 Space isn't going to be really that good game 1. And I kind of built this deck to win the top decking war in game 1 situation as well as game 2 and 3 post siding. So 2 Space is just a number that's always worked for me. Along with the 1-for-1 removal smashing. This deck does have trouble with bigger monsters, because if I can't get Fortress out, I can't really do anything, so 1-for-1 removal is huge. In fact, I sided 3rd smashing just because of that. If there's a Thunder King I can get over, I top into this. I basically have 4 outs of Thunder King. That's really the only monster I care about that gives me issues is Thunder King. And then the 1 of spells. Pot of Avarice. This is actually live more than you would think, just because you're constantly cycling through gadgets. With all the discarding with Fortress and things like that, Avarice is actually live a decent amount of the time. Then Dark Hole, Mind Control, all your gadgets are level 4, Mind Control something exceeding to Utopia, always good. Reborn, for obvious reasons. Oops. Sorry about that. And, Book of Moon, Heavy Storm, and Limiter Removal. Limiter, not really that great of a card, but it definitely helps when you're trying to go for that last minute push. And if you get a Fortress that's equipped with a Gear Frame, and you limit her, then the gear frame dies and your fortress stays. I'm just saying. Alright, so then on to traps. I play a 2-dimensional prison. Easily one of the best trap cards in the game at the moment. If you're really smart with this card and activate it at the right time, I mean, it's an out to Stardust, which is a huge factor for this deck because of Smashings and Fortresses effect. Stardust can be problematic. So Dimensional Prison, you're 1 card out. Those are always good. Do Double Warning because it's Solemn Warning, and I don't see why you wouldn't play it. Next, I play 2 compulsory, more 1 card outs to Thunder King and Stardust. Or any bigger monsters, any bigger synchros you can make. So that's just kind of, compulsory's always been good for me in this deck. I just decided to play 2. I was playing 1 Compulse, 1 Starlight Road, and I decided against the Starlight Road because I'm never really setting that many traps. So I mean, Starlight Road was dead most of the time, so I figured I'd put the spot to better use. I'm playing a single Bottomless, and I side the second one, just because Bottomless doesn't really hit as much as it used to. I know that's what we've been saying for a long time, but Bottomless just isn't as good as it once was. So side in the second one if you feel like you need to, but I think one's okay. 1 Mirror Force, 1 Dust Shoot because it's really stupid good, and Solemn Judgment. So that's basically the main deck. There's not a whole lot of explanation. I mean, the cards are pretty self-explanatory. There's no really fancy plays. It's just the deck does one thing, and that's summon and search out monsters and drop Fortress, and that's just about it. The side deck, I'm currently siding double Cyber Dragon, just because the card courier matchup, Cyber Dragon is insane in that matchup. Make a huge Chimera attack is always good. And if you're going second, you know, you're siding Cyber Dragons, whatever. Double Crow, might drop it to 1, still thinking about it. Really good against multiple things. Plants, Dark World for sure at the moment. If they end up getting, I don't know, there's a monster coming out that lets them get removed from play stuff, really busted. But for now, DD Crow is a really good side deck choice against those. And then 1 Smashing is my 3rd Smashing, just because 1 for 1 removal is that important. 1 Leeching the Light because I only have 1, and I don't play a whole lot so much anymore, so I haven't really had a chance to pick up another one. I mean, it wouldn't take me very long. I could just get 1, but for 1, I'm just using 1. And then my 3rd space, just in case I feel like I need it, like if somebody sides into Kreese or something funky like that, I can just NST. And then 2nd Bottomless, I'm sorry. Double Shadow and Prisoning Mirror, really good in the Dark World matchup, in case you run into Gravekeepers, I guess. But besides that, it doesn't really do much else. Double Black Horn of Heaven. This is strictly for the Rabbit matchup, because I haven't played against that matchup enough to know how to get around it. I do know that by turn 2, if they have Logia, Dolka, and Leviair, I'm completely done for. So this stops that. 2 Mind Crush, because this card is insanely good. Not just main decked in Dark World either. Like, Mind Crush, so many searches happen now that Mind Crush is just amazing. And then the last card, Attack a Transmigration Prophecy, just because putting 2 cards out of the graveyard back into the deck is amazing. Like, if you don't believe me, you can try it for yourself. It's a really good card. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my extra, even though it is from when I was playing TGs, so it's not exactly how the extra should be played, even though it doesn't matter. The only tuners you play are Veiler anyways. So anyways, I'm just going to go through real fast. Hyper Librarian, Cadister, Barkion, you'll never make that, Bryonac, Gaia, Scrap Archfiend, Black Rose, Colossal, Double Stardust, Scrap Dragon, Trish, and then Chimera Tech, Utopia, and there should be 2 of each of these guys in here, so you could probably drop Barkion, and then I have like a Wonder Magician in here for no reason. So you drop Barkion, Wonder Magician, play 1 more each of these guys, or another Roach or something. So yeah, that's pretty much my Gadget deck for this format. If you got any questions or comments or anything, send me a message. But until next time, I'll see you guys.